Hey guys, what's up? My name's Theo, play middle linebacker, Hilversum Hurricanes. That's in the Netherlands, that's in Europe. I play Euroball, welcome to the channel. I do vlog every single day, but Mondays and Fridays, now that the season has started, are now dedicated to football content. How the Friday videos go, like this one, comment response, news, and then I go out to practice later tonight, and then I'll record something either after in the darkness or the rain, or I'll set the camera up and something will happen at practice somehow. Last week it was just in between filming things okay, let's get into comments. Let's go back about a week. Football related content. I have a guy from Ireland found my Football 101 stuff. I'm not sure if he sent it out to his team or friends or something, but he found the Football 101 special teams and he's like, this is great, simple, to the point, he understood everything. Thanks. The idea is that Europeans can understand gridiron American football to the extent of being able to watch the NFL or somewhat play in their respective countries. Caden Rusher on last Friday's video says nice cut. Most likely the thing. It's scoring out quite quickly. The football uniform suit up video has a bunch of comments. Some guys absolutely obsessing over the way my body looks, and I can't be any more flattered than that. I will say this, Carson Wieland is going in on those comments and assisting with said comments. On my shoulder pad shorts video I did a while back, it says, wait, Jeremiah Nyangoro, wait, what's team you play for or league? I play for the Hilversum Hurricanes in the Netherlands, like I've said here. It's the AFBN, American Football Bond Nederland. That's the League of the Netherlands. So, how there's like USFL and CFL and GFL, we have AFBN instead of NFL. I mean, it could be NEFL, but then people would get confused with New Northeast. And that's not how you say it in Dutch, it's Noordoost. Anyways, it's just AFBN. There is a league involving the more Benelux area, and it's called the Belgium-Netherlands League, BNL. It also rhymes with Benelux. Yeah, again, here's someone else commenting on the wonderfulness of my body. Carson Wieland is coming in. But he comments on the NFL schedule explanation, which went out last Monday. I think your videos are so cool, you just started tackling football. It's understandable. Thanks. So I put out the NFL schedule thing because I know sometimes you can look at the schedule and it's like, yay, that's the schedule. But there's always this like bugging question. It's like, why is it this way? What rules are the way they are? So I use the whiteboard right here and I get my colored markers out, and I explain how this thing works. I did mess up because last I checked there was a 16-game season, but now there's 17, and that's in the last couple of years. Miller ZR asked on that same video, do you need the shirt girdle? It's absolutely a weird thing to call. It's understandable because your actual girdle does have cloth and the pads built in, and this was a padded undershirt. You don't need it. I had it because I was dumb in 2016 and thought I needed it. Because it was a football accessory and I was just sort of buying the gear to work. It was not good. Because it cut off here and went out to there, so it was like cutting into my armpit. And then, so I would wear a shirt underneath that. So I have like 3 layers on. It's absolutely stupid. Because I know it, to be fair, it was really warm for January. But, you know, like, yeah, I'm sweating in the apartment in that video. But it's also like 76 degrees, I think, in that apartment. Because it's warm. We're in an upper floor. But it was also like 35 degrees outside because it's January in Portland, Oregon. So like I said, it's not needed, but I do use, I used a new one. Do I have it out here? So I had that one, and then I stopped using it because it was just extra padding, and I was getting more bulky in the shoulders, so I could actually, fit my shoulder pads at the time. And then I got new shoulder pads, which were better fitting with my larger shoulders. So I had like adult medium shoulders or something like that, shoulder pads, but I was like super skinny and narrow in the shoulders. And then with Willie, I was strength training and bulking a bit up here, and then the shoulder pads went down to a small, and that was that. So I stopped wearing that shirt. But then I got here, and I wanted to have a little bit more padding because rather than being a defensive back, I was a linebacker, so I was doing a lot more plus the fact that I was having over here a soreness, so I was like, I just over and over, just hitting and over. Turns out I was ever so more fracturing my collarbone, and eventually broke. So that shirt that I was wearing that practice that prevented me from probably fully blowing out my shoulder had to get cut off of me at the hospital. I wore it for one practice. I then wore a new one after like 6 months of recovery. That's a rugby style, but that's way more padding than I was expecting, and I wore it a couple times just to get past the mental idea of you're not going to really break something that is now reinforced with steel. But it's still, I just had to get past it. I mean, I still own it, but I've done more shoulder workouts, more chest workout, and I don't need it anymore with my new shoulder pads. Somebody asked on the football away suit up, says, bro, that looks hard to get off. It's not. It wasn't in that video. It's not now. I have a short that shows how easy it is to take off shoulder pads with an adult, large, small, medium, whatever. My current jersey here, just go click the link. It's a card. It's a short. I tried to make it as short as possible. Someone else asks, bro, do you even play? Yes. I understand that it's a generalized idea to just downtrod upon someone that you don't necessarily know on the internet because it makes you somehow feel good. But in June 17th of 2016, I'd already been playing for 2 years. And now we are in September 2022, and I'm still playing. I've been playing football for about as long as most Americans. Like, they'll start in like middle school and then play for like 5 years, but then not really be good enough to move into college, and then go and do, I don't know, a communications degree or something. Or, I can start up a business, and they'll strike up a business degree and then whatever. Anyways, but yeah, I've already been playing for, that was 2014, so 8 years already. And here in Europe, you can just go until your body fails. There's no super levels of like uber amazingness that you're going to get. I mean, there's the ELF, but you're not really going to get cut from the team and kicked off into the bushes because, you had a really bad day one day. So that's the end of comments. So we are going into, now we're going into news. For AFBN, there is a Algemene Levens, what is that actually stand for? Zaterdag 17 september is er een nieuwe Algemene Levensvergadering van de AFB. That's a general members meeting is what that means. In English it's GMM, general members meeting, and in Dutch it's Algemene Levensvergadering, so ALV. So there is, as this says, the story about so on the agenda for that is the agenda. We also encounter a cancellation of debts incurred by the national teams. I'm not necessarily sure what exactly the context of national team. It says it in plural, so I'm wondering if that's like all of the teams within the nation and not the Dutch Lions. But there was a lot of paid into like renting the club and renting the fields and property rent and all that stuff, because like our field is actually owned by the city of Hilversum, and so we rent from the city of Hilversum, and they come into Hilversum, and so they come out and they trim our grass. And like last year we were having a big issue with seeding the grass and getting new grass on the field because the city was Corona messed up a lot of things, and then that's a different story. But yeah, so our club's relatively okay because we have connected with softball and baseball, and during the times of like baseball and softball was the times when we weren't in lockdowns. So football didn't really do much of anything, but the club was able to stay afloat during the Corona times. But other clubs don't have coupled sports like that, so it gets a bit. So I can see a bunch just not having the money, and I hope that there is some sort of reduction or cancellation of debts, because otherwise there are going to be some teams really struggling, just whole financially, and may have to just. I hope that none of them have to just fully close. Like, I understand not having the people last year, and a couple teams fully forfeited the entire season, and one team was like forfeited a quarter of their games. So that's awkward. I hope that they don't actually lose the ability to be a club. We already don't have that many to begin with in this country, and the skill levels are so like if Almira Flavo Phantoms doesn't come back this season, and they have to close as a club, I don't think so, because they're forming up a women's division, but perhaps maybe the Panthers or other people, I don't know the finances of stuff, then that means we have a hole in, say, the Eredivisie, so we have to promote one of the teams up, and there are some upper-level teams in the lower division, but it gets weird when you start closing down clubs, because then you start sticking people together that are not. As much as people are like, I want to see I do not want to see the one-sided game of the West Frisian Outlaws versus the Amsterdam Crusaders. It would be disgusting. In terms of Hilversum Hurricanes, we have Hilversum Actief coming up this Sunday. So there will be no official practice, but there will be we'll be at the town square with our club. Guys will be in gear. We'll be showing people up for, explaining football to them. Mostly it'll be in Dutch. I'll probably be wearing my gear and pants and not cleats, because I don't need to wear down my cleats like that, but still in the town square and saying like, hey, come play football. I do have to get the stuff printed tomorrow for flyers, but we'll talk about that at practice tonight, about how many to get and what size, so I can run by the print shop. And then I know people are probably going to give me crap about the Panthers, Carolina Panthers. I agree. I do not want to subscribe. I did not watch the game because I did not want to deal with anything involving the 11th of September. The NFL is already littered with the flag and the military and all that jazz. I didn't need anything more of that pity party. So I didn't watch the game because I didn't need that happening in my life. So yeah, the Panthers game was not great. It's always nice when to have the ability of in the eyes of most casual fans to take the quarterback from one team and then play them the first game of the season and absolutely snot roll them. It didn't happen. It was close. It was 26-24, and from what I understood, there were some awkward calls, but not everything's a perfect season. This was Baker Mayfield's first game as a Panther. They had the preseason games, but those are also not fully utilizing your best personnel. They'll put Baker Mayfield out, but they're also not putting the number one receivers at all the positions, and the other team is already not putting in their number one uber duper defensive line and stuff. So, that's the idea of the preseason. Am I one of those guys that says, oh my God, the Panthers are going to fail the rest of the year? No. It wasn't even that much of a blowout of score. Is that 26-24? That's a field goal. But I didn't watch the game, so I'm not necessarily sure how that score happened, though. But I don't have that Excel spreadsheet anymore. Anyways, yeah. So we've covered Hilversum, AFBN, and the Panthers. That's pretty much everything with that, and I'm going to head out to practice here for me in a couple hours, and you guys will see me here in... Alright, well, I'm going to put the camera away. Finger got pretty dislocated during inside run drills. Ed says it's okay, don't worry, it's the first part of the season, and we probably don't have games until thing, but it gets to me feeling this way. Just useless and shit. You guys saw some footage. I'm going to put the camera away. It's waterproof, but I don't need to necessarily get it totally wet. Yeah, see you guys Monday or something.